What is up, everybody? It's Dan Mortimer with eXp Realty bringing you another weekly market update. This is for Henderson and Las Vegas real estate, and the data is as of Monday, February 24th, 2025. Another week is come and gone. We're getting towards the end of February, so let's go ahead and dive into the data and see what's going on in our market. So I'm going to be pulling the data from my computer that's right here, so my apologies in advance if I look over a few times. But in the last 7 days, we've seen 899 new listings. That's kind of on par with what we've seen the last few weeks, kind of been around the 900 mark, sometimes a little above, sometimes a little below. 899 new listings that came on the market. We also had 179 listings that came back on the market, had a deal in place. For some reason, the buyer canceled and the property went back on the market. So we had 179 of those. We also had 739 listings that had a price decrease of some kind. Could be $1, could be $100, could be $1,000. Just depends on the strategy that the listing agent and the seller decided on. But we had 739 of those. Now, as far as the under contracts go, this number picked up a little bit this week. We had 306 properties that went into under contract show status, and another 523 that went into under contract no show status. So in total, you're talking about 829 homes that went under contract compared to 899 new listings. 519 properties sold in the last 7 days, and we had another 100 that were put into coming soon status. For those that are watching this maybe for the first time and haven't seen my previous updates, coming soon status basically just means the property is unofficially on the market. It'll be active on the MLS within the next 30 days or less. Typically people do that if maybe they get the property listed, they can do some pre-marketing and things like that, but maybe the home is getting tidied up and not quite ready for photos yet, but they want to start working on getting the home sold. So they'll use that coming soon status to where the property is available to local realtors and people that have access to the MLS, but not necessarily publicly available, and it doesn't always publish on third-party search sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, things like that. So we had 100 of those in the last 7 days. Getting into the total active listing numbers, we're up to 5,595 active single-family home listings, 1,276 condos, and another 836 townhomes. And again, that's the total number of active listings. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I've mentioned this before in other updates, we don't always see like new construction numbers. So a lot of developers that are selling new construction inventory, we don't know what their inventory looks like, how many are under contract, how many are sold. Sometimes if they have some standing inventory, which means that the home is completed or it's about to be completed but it hasn't sold yet, sometimes they'll put it on the MLS so it will track with this data. But it's not necessarily something that you can consistently rely on, because each builder works differently with how they operate, how they use the MLS, and how much they're trying to just push people to their own websites. But just kind of looking at the data, we are still seeing the inventory gradually go up. We've seen this for the last few weeks. Sometimes the gap is big, sometimes it's smaller. This week you're talking about, what is that, 829 versus 899, so about 70 homes difference, where we've got 70 more coming on the market than are going off the market and going under contract. So it's very interesting to see. I mentioned a couple weeks ago in one of my video updates where we did the monthly data that Las Vegas prices have hit all-time highs. Now, the caveat to that is that doesn't mean that every single home is at all-time peak prices. It means that the median, which is basically the home sale in the middle, that's what we use to track our housing market and just kind of the pricing data. It's easiest to go off of the median. That way the average doesn't get skewed. If there's like a $20 million home that sells, or a few really, really high-end properties that sell, it doesn't skew like it would with the average. We stick to the median. But prices are at all-time highs. Inventory is slightly climbing. We are still sitting on about 3 months worth of inventory, give or take. Maybe I think it's a little bit above 3 months right now. So it's still a very balanced market, which is a good sign, especially for buyers. We're getting into, it's starting to warm up here in Las Vegas, and I think we're going to start seeing more buyers entering the market, which is why we're seeing that under contract number keep up with the number of new listings. I've seen some people talk about, oh, homes are flooding the market, there's tons of inventory, it's piling up. That may very well be the case. We don't know. But for now, it's keeping up pretty well with the number of new listings, and our overall inventory is still really, really low for the amount of pent-up demand that there is. Now, some of the reason that we have that pent-up demand is because of what I just talked about. Prices are at all-time highs. Interest rates are not at all-time highs, but interest rates are a lot higher than they were a few years ago. And I think what we've started to see is buyers basically just saying, you know what, enough is enough. I can buy. It's not my preference necessarily to buy while prices are high and interest rates are high, but the expectation is that, you know, rates are going to stay about the same or maybe fluctuate up and down a little bit, but the prices are, generally speaking, they're going up. So I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to get into something. I'm going to lock myself in. And other people are saying, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait out this market. I'm going to see if things get better. I know a lot of people that have been doing that since 2022. And since then the prices have climbed. So it's definitely an interesting dynamic, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out as we get into the spring months. I mentioned it in my video update before that it's kind of interesting that we hit an all-time median high price in Las Vegas in January, because typically January is a slower month. Usually the prices are a little bit lower. So it'll be interesting to see if that number continues to climb or if it stays stagnant because of the interest rates. But either way, I hope you guys get some value from these weekly updates. There are two ways that you can support this channel if you like this content, if you find it valuable. First is the easiest. There's a subscribe button on my channel. It gives you access to my videos. As soon as I post them, you get a notification about it. You stay updated anytime I post new content to YouTube. I try to put at least a couple of videos out a week. And it's free. There's no cost to do it. It's just like following me on Facebook or Instagram or any other social media platform. So that's definitely helpful. But the other way that you can support this channel is I'll put a link in the description of this video. I put it in all my videos. If you wanna discuss your situation, whether you're looking to buy, you're looking to sell, you're thinking about renting, thinking about coming into Vegas, coming out, getting out of Vegas, that link, you can set up a one-on-one meeting with me. I'd be happy to meet you. We can do it nice and comfortable over Google Meet, or we can do a phone call. We can meet in person, you know, go to a coffee shop or something like that, whatever. But that gives me an opportunity to get to know you better, learn a little bit about your situation, and see what I can do to help you to achieve your real estate goals. So again, I hope you guys got some value out of this. If there's anything I can do for you, please feel free to reach out anytime. And I will see you guys at the next one.